A badge of honor. Police officers and first responders wear badges to let their communities know they are here to protect and serve. But that's not how it feels today, and the stress of the job is taking its toll, taking lives through suicide and post-traumatic stress injury. A Badge of Honor podcast features the cast of the same name, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno. Sam, John, and the team offer the first responders workshops through their critical incident stress management teams and mental health liaisons to offer state-certified T-COLE credit programs that save lives. It's time to smash through the stigma. It's time to heal from your injury, and it's time to back our blue. Welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast. Here are your hosts, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno.
Hey, welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam. Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Doing great. We are powered by the OBBM network and now available weekly on OBBM network Roku channel. So
Nice.
Every episode now and tonight's will go up in the next couple of days. You can catch up with on now and
Whoa, my phone was on. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I was like, I'm hearing myself. Echo. But, John, we're coming off of PTSD Awareness Month. And we're, July 4th is right around the corner. We talk about freedom and doing the right things and why it's important to speak up, speak out, and speak up for what you believe in all the time.
Yep.
And it's due to the veterans and the first responders, veterans that put their lives on the line in every war. To allow us this platform every week. And, when it comes to, I don't want to say like PTSD awareness is always highlighted by bad stories, but unfortunately, it had a snowball effect. And here we are. And we'll talk about it more with our guests tonight. But we've got a developing situation going on in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate anything, but all the circumstances surround this tragic, horrible circumstance through two Tennessee firefighters, and our hearts and prayers go out to the family. And two firefighters went missing a couple of days ago, a male and a female. I don't want to give their names out, but a male and a female. They were once in a relationship, and then the relationship faltered, and you know how things go. And they just recovered them in the woods off a hiking trail, and they're doing an investigation. They haven't released, the news hasn't released any statements yet on the cause of death. And I hate to speculate anything, but keep our Tennessee firefighters in your prayers. It's never in the manner on how you die. It's in the manner of how you lived. And that's what we have to look at in every aspect. So we have to just keep those guys in our prayers, just like all our first responders. But it is a tragic loss of these two Tennessee firefighters. And you brought up 4th of July coming up. And, a big thing with 4th of July, if you can remember, if your neighbors are a veteran or a first responder, remember, fireworks can be big triggers for our veterans and our first responders. So be a little courtesy, have a little courtesy if you have a veteran, an older veteran living next door. Take the fireworks down the block, take them away from the area. We don't want to trigger any of our veterans or our first responders with some loud fireworks.
Yeah, or just be a good neighbor and communicate. Like what you're going to do. I mean, look, if you're in city limits and by all means celebrate, that's what it's about. You can't do that. But also keep in mind, especially if you're in Texas, it's been incredibly dry. Like Mom Nature, I don't know. I think she's on the wish vendetta against us. So like fires, right? So our first responders are tasked with a lot at every local event of the evening. Let's not start any brush fires, but along those lines with our veterans and what July 4th means, what our flag means. Really, they carry a load, a lot of them coming back from tours when they finish their service in the military. That still, a lot of them, there's a huge campaign to get help, but a lot of them still don't. And our guest tonight is part of an incredible, what is now a worldwide movement that started off with him and a flag and a bridge, but it goes even deeper than that. And I want to bring on our guest tonight, United States Marine Corps veteran Jeffery Gray. Welcome to a Badge of Honor podcast.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Well, just tell everybody watching and listening on their favorite podcast app, Jeff, about you, about your service and what you're doing now.
Well, I graduated from Rockwall High School in 1978 and decided to join the Marine Corps. And I graduated from boot camp in about the same year. And then I basically was 0811, which is artillery. And then I went to overseas, stationed in 29 Palms, California. But then I went to embassy duty and Sofia, Bulgaria, and Vienna, Austria. And then I went and traveled back to Okinawa. So it led me a lot of places. And I spent roughly over 11 years in the Marine Corps. And I posted this the other day, I would actually do it again. But I learned a lot of, our Marine Corps values, honor, courage, and commitment. And I kind of let that go. I worked at a jail. I was in Collin County, and I did security for a lot. And then I got married. And there was a time in there that I lost my will to be here. I can't, that's the hard thing for all of us dealing with mental issues, is to wonder why or what happened, because the demons are really trying to take over your thoughts, your ability to care about the littlest things. And that's what was happening to me. Now, I didn't want to actually take my life because seeing it happen, I just didn't want to be here. And I was pleading with God to take me. So I gained a lot of weight. I could care less about anything, which was not me. I mean, and everybody knew it, but they didn't know what to do about it. So it just took a couple of interventions from family members and things. God has a mysterious way of throwing things at you, like, wake up. I got this. So here's why I want you here. And finally I caught on. I had the sleeve surgery and started losing the weight. And then I just got triggered by things I saw. It's just like a bridge thing. I just said, I need to walk. So I just saw the bridge one day. I said, it looks like a pretty good walking path. I mean, it was a bike path. I walked it a couple of times and didn't, I started off with a little bag of water, and then I went to a little bigger pack, and the flag wasn't even involved yet until one day I had a little one and I stuck it in the water thing there. And then I had one hanging up on my, just a wooden pole one, you buy. Mm-hmm. And it fell and landed on the ground. So I didn't have time. I just put it in the truck. And someone just said, hey, why not carry it? So
things happen for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. But I had no mission yet. It was a Jeffery mission to get Jeffery back. And my aunt at the time, I never forget, when she was alive, I used to joke with her. She saw me, I posted some things. She saw, I was joke. I just got passed by a turtle. I was going so slow. And she made this one step at a time, Jeffrey, one step at a time. But I had no mission. Now, I don't know if I should say his name, but he's a sheriff of Rockwall County.
You can just say sheriff of Rockwall County.
He and other guys were my inspiration. Were kind of thrown at me with the Briggs having flags. somewhere, I still can't exactly tell you exactly when it was, the days. I spent almost 12 years in the Marine Corps and never heard anything about suicide. They were happening, but they were like, shh, hush, hush. I don't know if they still are, but there still is a lot of that because they're wondering, like, was it our fault? What do we do? We don't need 100 guys doing it. Well, they do have them. And they were hushing it with the families and trying to, I don't know, it's just bad stuff, bad karma stuff. Well, I found out about that and I said, well, it wasn't me. Inside, something told me, there it is, son. There's your mission. I didn't know what to do. Let's see what happens. I mean, I got to, for me and for, to do it, I got a mission to walk. So I started walking. And there you go. That's the simplest thing I can make it. It just started meeting people. Like we were just talking about a gentleman. I'd like to give him credit. His name is, again, John. Say his name. I can't remember his name.
Well, I don't have his name in front of me.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
at Barry, right?
Yeah. We met, led to meeting John and 12 and a bunch of people. And that one time I had a 9/11 walk and I was shocked. There's a picture of hundreds of people met. We walked from Rockwall to Rowlett, met down there and it took a picture. And I was like, whoa, okay, maybe we can use this to bring attention. So I just started walking. The longest days I ever walked straight in a row was 55. And I had to tractor one that was over 4,000 miles at one point because I was almost doing it every day. Now, I wish I could still do it every day, but I've had things happen. And me and Gabriel Joseph talked about this the other day about who's going to carry on for us. And I'm pretty sure we have that. It's going to happen. And it's on its own now. Even though I walk alone and he walks alone, we walk for the same thing.
Jeff,
and we're all over,
absolutely.
We're all over the world.
Jeff,
not just Texas.
I want to cut you off one time because I want to just bring back to what you said, which was such a valuable point you brought up. And many of our first responders and our veterans are feeling probably the same way. You didn't want to take your life, but you didn't have a life to live because of the depression and the post-traumatic stress. And we got to build on that as well. When you think about people who lose so much joy and enthusiasm and the will to live, they don't want to take their lives, but they're dying slowly inside themselves. I think that's even more horrible than actually committing that deed of ending it. It's living day after day with that agony of depression. And that's what the post-traumatic stress does. It brings on depression. So you touched on a point that we really haven't even really ventured into yet. We ventured into suicide, but how about living with that depression? You don't want to end it. So thank you for bringing that up because that's gonna weigh heavy on a lot of our first responders and our veterans going, I can't live like this. I don't want to die, but I can't live the way I'm living. So thank you for bringing that up, Jeffrey.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about that and some things that we definitely have seen and recognized when we come back from our first commercial break. We'll be back, everybody, with Jeffery Gray.
Move freely, America, without medical restrictions or penalty. Without medical freedom legislation in place, our rights and freedoms are one vote away from being dissolved. Move freely, America, with one voice, without fear of retribution, achieving a common goal, medical freedom. We the people make our voices heard by connecting with state legislators and engaging a constitutionally compliant medical Bill of Rights for all citizens. Individually, change is improbable, but as an aggregate, attainable. It's time to act with one voice. My voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
To protect our freedom, creating one voice that cannot be ignored. This requires your voice, too. Move Freely America. Go to movefreelyamerica.org to find a chapter near you. Plug in, donate, and help our legislators defend our God-given rights under the Constitution. Move Freely America. My voice.
And my voice.
And together with your voice, we're one voice that cannot be ignored. Donate today. MoveFreelyAmerica.org.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and our guest, United States Marine Corps veteran, Jeffery Gray. If you're just joining us now before the break, we're talking about Jeffrey's career through the Marine Corps and his battles with post-traumatic stress. And he touched on a subject that we very rarely venture into, but it's living with the post-traumatic stress. It's not even the part of taking your life or a suicide. It's the point of living in that depression. And you found a way to get up and move and get yourself out of that. And it was, I guess it was a sign or just something that made you say, I can't live like this anymore. I can't live in my own mind. I have to get out. I got to start moving. And walking does just that. Even though it's just a bridge, it's just a bicycle path, it's a hiking trail, it's moving. It gets your mind mentally stimulated. Is that what it did for you, Jeff?
Yeah. I don't want to really say it. It took some family members too that see somebody has to recognize that it ain't you. They know you well enough. They got to speak out. They can't, if they hold it back, they're going to be one of those ones, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, what could be done. And not everybody can be caught, so to say. Nobody can actually, you almost have to want to stop it. Some people go too far to where they actually take their own lives. That part, I can't fathom in a way. I don't want to fathom. Did I feel that? Yes and no, but I wasn't going to do that. Because I've seen that happen. We have to let it know that it's terrible to see somebody do that. I mean, it is, and that in turn makes them wonder, and they may become one of those casualties. That's why I've said this to others on the bridge that, they were worried about, was it their fault? I said, no, it can't. It's something that they dealt with. And you couldn't have missed it, but they have to want to be saved too. And at a point, sometimes they may not can mentally. They lose their trains of thought. They become totally different. Just like this young gentleman just did, this family said it wasn't him. You become mean. You come in a corner where you don't want to have to do with anything, not even watch TV. Your life has changed. But somebody can do it. They just have to maybe be a mean person to get you woke up.
Did you recognize it within yourself, Jeff? Or was it did you recognize it within yourself, or did you slowly?
I didn't until somebody told me that he was ill. It was my cousin. He said that I was not me. And I needed to do something about it. And then it was just other things. I'm looking at my wife, I'm looking at me and like, this can't be happening. I got to have something to live for. Jeanette, of course, my wife and everything is the key thing. Yeah, there's got to be something for you too.
Absolutely.
It's got to be about you too. I mean, in this case, yes, because if it becomes not about you and you take your life, then it's them, the ones you leave behind. They're going to deal with your loss in the same way. They're demons. They just keep going. We have to stop the demons, find out what they are, trigger them to stop. There's a way to do it. You just got to know signs. And they're there. This guy said his family said it's on, but they didn't have anything to look for to stop it.
Yeah, and there are more resources out there, and people, and Jeff, the more people see you on the bridge, it's like, oh, that's that guy. And that's how
why am I walking?
Right. Found out about you is I saw you on Facebook. And
people don't realize the power of hello. How are you doing? Smile at somebody when you don't even feel like smiling. If they smile back, that could give the trigger. I have something little bit, but I want to still be here. Because if you do, you don't come back. I mean, and here's another thing. People always wonder if they go to hell. Well, I'd like to think that we're talking about first responders and stuff right now and military, that they were warriors here. Their demons were rough. That they were warriors here, and God said, I can't help you anymore down there. So you're coming with me. At the time that he's done that, I believe there's a place when you do that. So I got a mission for you up here to help me, to give these guys help. We're going to catch them. Somewhere we're going to send them a sign. My sign was that flag getting that ground out there. And the many little things. It takes more than one sometimes to slap me out of it. And my goal is to stop this. Even if it's just one man, one woman, one person, that becomes another advocate.
Absolutely. It's the legacy of having not only the grace and the blessing and the understanding now from meeting you or being connected in some way with you or walk the bridge, that they realize their life is worth it. And then they come in and help somebody else. And that's the beauty of the legacy of how this all started. You've got, we titled this episode, I Can, I Will, I Must, because that's what you realized when you got that message. It changed your life, and it's changed the lives of so many people that have gotten connected with you, to be like, okay, there's no excuses. I saved my life with the help of the big man upstairs, and now I am obligated. This is my mission to bring forward. And talk a little bit about, I mean, you've got it on a wristband, you've got it tattooed on you, those words. Where did that come from?
I've never had a tattoo in the Marine Corps. It wasn't that I saw them. They weren't that pretty things. They don't do it as well. That was I had my first one was this one here. It says never quit. And it was a lot bigger. You could read it. Now it says never read. You could barely read it. But that was my first, I would walk and I'd see that. That's an inspiration for yourself. A go-getter, or if you want to say something for you. Most tattoos mean something for them personally. Remember, like 12 just got one. That's for him, but it's for others. And that's a big one there to me. That's where the I can, I will, I must is me, but it's them. And then I have, of course, the semicolon.
Semicolon. Yeah.
It means you're that's a big one too. A semicolon project. It means that,
your story is
story is not being
done.
Written. It's not over. Yeah. God still has paragraphs for you to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing I can say. Your story has just begun. He has the only power to stop it. And I wasn't really that. I've probably been saved several times in my life, in different points in my life. But I'm not going to. I'm a believer in God, and that's a big part of it. But even if you're not with Him right now, find a way. Something that you love, your animals, your family, something out there that you love that you still want to see.
Absolutely.
Smell the roses, touch the grass. Go, one of the biggest things somebody told me a long time ago, and I did this. If you're at that point where you're just losing it, or you don't know where to get in your car and go somewhere, hopefully where there aren't nobody, and just let it go. I mean, scream till you can't scream no more. Cuss if you may, if you need to. But just let it go by yourself. And then when I did it, I started to laugh. I don't know why. I just started to laugh. Find something that really you enjoy, or you used to enjoy, and get back at it. I can, I will, because you must. We all must. We all are here together. We all have a mission.
We are one big family.
Become part of us. Join us. That's what we want you here. We want you.
Yep, we are one big family, one big mission. And when we come back from our next break, we're going to talk about that hashtag Walk the Bridge movement. We'll be back in a moment. Everybody stay tuned.
Interested in starting a podcast or TV show? Worried about what you'll say and how to keep it engaging? Think you'd like to be a guest on podcast, radio, or TV shows? Hi, I'm Susan Hamilton, owner and founder of OBBM Network, and I would like to invite you to an OBBM media training to get the tools you need for a relaxed and polished performance you'll be proud to share. Our specialized training techniques include role play, voice training, and everything you need to deliver a confident, clear, and engaging interaction. Go to offbeatbusiness.com. Go to the calendar and register for a training that's convenient for you. Dates available now, 214-714-0495.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. You got to unmute yourself.
How do
I
do
got to
that?
unmute myself. Hey, welcome back to Evangel on Podcast with John and Sam and our guest, Jeffery Gray. And, we were talking about, and I just got this message. I'm just getting this message. And, I hate to do this on air, but we had another loss. We just had another loss today out of North Carolina. A canine officer, I'm not going to mention his name, took his own life today. I'm just getting this message from somebody who just sent me the picture and the bio of what happened. Very sad, very sad. So our hearts and prayers, not only into Tennessee, but also into North Carolina right now. That's why the hashtag Walk the Bridge movement, mission, however you want to call it, is so important to spread around, because we have been the mission itself was credited for saving 12 lives. I think when we spoke a few weeks ago with people, it has saved a lot more that we don't even know about, because it provides an outlet. It provides mental health therapy of walking with others that we don't get the results on. We know of 12 people who've come to us, but a simple act of kindness could save someone's life as well, because you don't know what they're battling in those days. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their intentions are, and your actions through humanity and love and caring can change the whole trajectory of someone's day and their future. And hashtag Walk the Bridge has provided just that.
Yeah. So Jeff, talk a little bit about what, you and Gabriel are doing monthly. You're leading it in Rockwall, and John, you're leading it in Fort Worth. Talk a little bit about that, how people can get involved.
Well, we decided way back when that the third Sunday of every month is and Gabriel and me probably doing it because 12 is up there working too. He owes John probably a lot of hours. But anyways, 12 is still involved. So is John with everything. That's a coordination. Now I missed them sometimes because of my ankle surgery, but Gabriel's trying to do, we're going to be doing the Rockwall side. He walks every day carrying a ton on his back, but you know what that ton means, what the backpacks actually mean, right there. It's on your website there. Carry the load for others. That's what we're doing. We're carrying their burden on our shoulders.
Well, if you don't mind, Jeffrey, I'm just going to interrupt you real quick and give a little background on how hashtag Walk the Bridge all began. And it was through you, the inspiration of you walking with the flag for your brothers in arms. And, seeing that visibility on the bridge with the horns honking and people waving and raising awareness for those who are overseas and here in our country fighting for everything. It rippled into this huge mission where a motorcycle club out of Rockwall took on this mission to now walk the bridge to raise awareness for suicide prevention. And it started back in 2019. 11 members started walking, and we were walking on the 22nd of every month starting back then. And then we decided to switch it, like you said, to the third Sunday of every month. It started in Rockwall, and with that mission, I gotta say that John Vick and Senator Hall here in Texas took note of this. We did a hands across the bridge, which we had hundreds of people respond. But our senator here in Texas and John Vick decided to, through COVID, which was really no easy feat, have that bridge renamed to Heroes Memorial Bridge. And that was such an honor for most of the people in the Rockwall and Rowlett area. Not only that, it was for all our first responders and veterans that this bridge was renamed in honor of them, you know. Then we took it to from Rockwall, it escalated to the UK. We had a biker group out in the UK who started it out in Stevenage, and they ran with it. And then it went to Montana and Kentucky, and then it's all these walk the bridge movements started gaining speed, and now it is worldwide. We're in 2 places here in Texas right now, almost 3, I think, sporadically in Waco. But there are people doing this all over the world. We got a notification of the day that a veteran in his wheelchair had started walking the bridge, and I forgot what state he was in, but it was in what country it was in. But he started doing it from what he saw in the UK and started doing it. So now we have it in Italy, we have it in Czechoslovakia, we have it in Romania, we have it in England. These things are popping up all over the place, and I think it's a great movement because they're raising awareness. It's a global epidemic when we talk about suicide. It impacts everybody. It impacts everybody's family. Depression, mental health impacts everybody. Veteran, first responder, and individual alone. So when we get out there and we walk the bridge, not only are we remembering those who gave so much for us and honoring them and saying their names and memorializing them, we are also helping our own selves. We are walking. We are learning more about what mental health is. We're breaking that, smashing that stigma that everybody was so afraid to talk about. Like you said, Jeff, the Marines didn't want to talk about, the Army, none of the military services want to talk about. Law enforcement, first responders, nobody 10 years ago wanted to talk about this. Now we're bringing it to the forefront. People are becoming more transparent. They're letting people know that I'm not okay. And we're letting them know it's okay not to be okay, but you can't stay there. So this movement has really impacted so many people globally, and it's just going to keep moving on and on and on.
And with that, we already said, it's a third Sunday. When we come back from our next break, Jeffrey, we got to talk about your acting career, because it's all
I don't know if it's a career, but
in this big healing journey. So we'll take our next break. We'll be back with Jeffery Gray. Everybody stay tuned.
Look, when you need to respond to an aggressive situation to protect yourself, your family, or your property, understanding your firearm and legal position are critical. Officers know your skills are only as good as your commitment to training. So know what you're doing. So when you're in a vulnerable situation, we can count on your response. Whether you're a beginner or a licensed gun carrier, Carry in Texas offers basic firearms training, Texas permitless carry courses, license to carry, and basic 2A courses so you can understand the responsibilities, situational awareness, and learn the technical skill required when you carry your firearm. Go to carryintexas.com to find the right course for you. Join me, former United States Secret Service agent Samantha Horwitz, on the range for beginner basics, LTC prep, and range practice. Go to carryintexas.com today. That's carryintexas.com.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and Jeffery Gray, United States Marine Corps veteran, actor, and advocate for our mental health community. Before we left, we were talking about some of the history behind #WalkTheBridge and what it means to everybody. We want to get into your acting career, and then I want to get into that ripple effect that you started. And me and Sam talk about this all the time. And all it takes is that one little pebble inside that water that causes that ripple effect. If nobody continues throwing those little rocks in the water, that ripple effect is going to diminish and will stop, right? We have continuously, since 2019, been throwing those little pebbles and keeping that ripple effect going and letting people know that they are not alone. So, your small little pebble that you tossed in that water, Jeffrey, has, I give you credit for starting this worldwide mission, and thank you for it.
Yeah. And you bring that professionalism and that awareness to everything you do. And let's talk about your acting career, because you choose parts. I mean, I don't want to say you're typecast, but you pull off cop and military very well.
And Roman gladiator.
That whole thing. Yeah. But I mean, you've done very meaningful projects like The Chosen. Just talk a little bit about how you got into that.
Kind of a fluke thing. It was not a veteran that I knew that we just, there was a thing called on the Reels channel. That was one of these like shows that you do that are either a lot of them are cop or reenactments of crimes and stuff. And a lot of times you don't even talk. You are an actor. Playing a police officer or something, but always, if I did that, I wanted to make sure I gave them the respect and looked the part, did the role. Luckily, I know people like John and stuff in a family that's in the law enforcement field. So I wanted to do it right, but it just become a thing. It's one of those things where I was talking about having something outside of your norm to do, learn something new. I think it's in the play and actually be able to play somebody that you're not, and throw a little of yourself in there. That's unique, even if it's background, which I prefer doing probably more than speaking, because I don't consider myself, I like to do, if I'm going to do anything like 2 lines or something like that, because I like to say, if you're an actor, I'd like to bring the best out of you. I'd be the supporting character to bring the best out of you. My favorite one so far is The Chosen, because, it's a story about Jesus. And how many can say that you were in a scene with Jesus Christ, And I played a Roman.
You met him?
Yeah.
Well, I played a Roman.
In due time, not now.
But the guy looks, here's the perspective about it. I was watching a scene last year where he did his scene and he comes with the disciples and it go cut, and the guy that plays Jonathan that plays the Jesus goes and gets a cookie over at Crafty. So here he is, and there he is.
Well, now we know Jesus eats cookies, so it's good for everybody to eat cookies.
Anyways, it's a family show, but it's also, they handle it really well. They got some of the best people in the business, and from the wardrobe up that you actually feel there. We just did this one for season 5 where we're dancing with Jesus, and other people don't know it's him. And it's just like they make it's so realism that you feel that you're there. If you're close, all you're missing is probably the smells and the screams and, all that. It happened back then. It wasn't pleasant, but, Jesus went through a rough time to get to where, they crucify him, and that's coming up. So it plays it, he's a human being, which we all are. Okay. And you got to, if you went, but we go back to thinking how we are, who we are on this world, we're low on the chain. We always think we're up here, but we're really kind of down here. Animals can eat us and we eat them, whatever, but there's a power greater than us. And getting back to the bridge, if I can, I just want to talk any more about that.
No, please. All connected.
Yeah, it's the power there. And I say this all the time. This is not about me, and it will always be about them, and them meaning the people out there that are dealing with mental issues. That we have to find a way to get them to speak, and we listen. That's the biggest thing. And I'm a bigger talker. But when somebody mentions that they got an issue, just let them talk. What is your problem? But if you need us, hit me if it takes you to feel better. Do something to catch them before it's too late.
See, that's a big thing, is learning to listen, A lot of people don't know how to listen because we all listen to respond. And when you're dealing with someone with mental health issues, you have to really just absorb and be there and be empathetic and be nurturing. You can't listen to respond. You got to just be there. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. And that's what makes it so difficult. And that's why with a badge of honor, when we do our workshops, we teach people to how to listen. We teach people how to respond with body motions and with eye movements and just facial expressions, and it just to let them absorb into you without you absorbing back into them, because people want to be heard.
Yeah, I mean, they may, and a lot of I was going back to where that person might be very angry, very, and start with the A, you know what I'm talking about? Might be that kind of guy or woman, to where you don't want to be near them. And that's when they need you the most,
right,
is to go up to them, grab them, and say, I'm here. I don't care what you do. I'm going to love you. You're here. I mean, we need you. You're not alone. Okay. What's the words I'm looking for? My brain just stopped. I even have it on the bridge. I mean, what is it? I don't care. You know what's what I'm looking for? You're not alone, but it's like,
well,
anyway.
you've also been there and you understand, and so have the people that have shown up. Everybody that's there has been through something. It's a chance to share with each other, to support, to comfort, and to surround somebody that shows up, like you said, whether it's anger, and we all know that that's the easy one. Or sadness, whatever the emotion is, to surround them with the love and care that they deserve, but in a community where they absolutely feel supported. They're not alone, because whether it's through a badge of honor or you, Jeff, or somebody else that they meet there are ways to get them the help that not only do they need, but they absolutely deserve.
Well, it's like, and you might think this happens a lot with a loner guy or woman in an apartment all by themselves, and they do that. No, that's not all the time that happens like that. People may think that. It's happening. We see, John, you know what I'm talking about. It's happening. This last one happened in front of a bunch of deputies. Now, was he trying to say this is why? We don't know. It's too late to figure that out. But the bad thing about that, those deputies now have an incident.
Yeah.
It gets to the point. I'm not going to speculate on what happened to that deputy, and it's just a shame. But I'll tell you from past experience, you get to a point where you think that there's no way out, and I'll never blame anybody for a response or how things were handled or what the circumstances were, because I don't know them. I can just say that, like, within my own personal aspect, my things were handled wrong and could have went tragically different in a heartbeat if I had my firearm on me. Now, he may have had his firearm, thought there was no way out, was not giving the proper commands. Who knows what the situation was? And you know what? In that split instinct, when you are in that frame of mind, you make decisions that you can't take back. And that's the sad aspect about it. In the heat of a moment, if we look at a lot of these suicides, many of them have alcohol involved or drugs involved, and it's because they're in a different frame of mind, and they don't understand, and it just worsens the impact of the depression, the mental health, the demons, whatever you want to call them. It just makes them so much worse. And I bet that if we were able to talk to 80% of the people who have taken their lives, those 80% would have said, I wouldn't do it. I didn't know what I was doing.
Because
you pull that trigger.
Yeah, you can't.
Just a little trigger.
There's
no coming back.
It's sad that,
and they don't know that their mind is so focused on, I don't want to be here. Their demon is just reaching.
It's
like
pain.
I said, we can't fathom that you're going to.
It's
Just
pain. They want to end the pain. So if you guys want to connect with Jeffrey, the best way to connect with him is on Facebook, and it's his name at Jeffery Gray. I've got the banner up there for everybody listening on your favorite podcast. We're going to take our last quick break. We will be right back to wrap up with Jeffrey. Stay tuned, everybody.
To the Health Engineer Show. I'm Clint Bucoy, the Health Engineer, right here on the Offbeat Good.
Hi, I'm Larry Cordier.
Hi, my name is Susan Hamilton, and you're watching Offbeat.
Hi, this is Doreen Milano. Welcome to Big Ideas Small Business, where we will talk to Terry Arjala.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and Jeffery Gray, United States Marine Corps veteran, actor, mental health advocate, and all around good guy. He knows Jesus. He works with him on set, who eats cookies, you know. But, you know, in the beginning of this segment, you know, Jeffrey, you said something that's really going to weigh with me for a long time. And I thank you for it, because it's not something I think about. It's that we have to live in our own mind in depression and to get out of it. And I'm going to take that to all workshops, because I appreciate how you brought that about, that you didn't want to commit suicide. You didn't want to end your life, but you didn't know how to live within your own mind. And so many people are battling that same thing. And I think that's a great, I'm lost track of the word, but I think that's something that many people don't know. They're losing it, and we need the family members to step up and help out and say something. What I do want to bring up about hashtag Walk the Bridge before we do end, because I want to bring this up to our whole listening audience, because of this one pebble that went into the water and a ripple effect. All right. We've continuously been walking the bridge, and through these efforts worldwide, First Help out of Massachusetts, Karen Solomon, John Vick, Senator Hall's office, and a multitude of other people throughout the hashtag Walk the Bridge mission have come together, and a memorial, the only one in the world that's going to recognize those lost by post-traumatic stress, suicide. It will be a park will be erected in Rockwall at the foot of Heroes Memorial Bridge this September. It's been 5 years coming, lots of hard work on a lot of people's parts to make this happen. And a beautiful memorial is going to be set with some benches and some stones. And this will be a place, because those who are lost by suicide do not get a hero's funeral. They do not get the honorable mention on any of the memorial walls. This will be some place where we can remember how they lived. It's for their family members. This will be a memorial site for those who lost, and so many have. And I want to thank everybody throughout the Walk the Bridge mission here in the nation, here in the United States and the UK, and all over the world, because this monument is because of your efforts that made this possible for the families. So that is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment on behalf of so many worldwide.
Absolutely. So Jeffrey, you know, you're wearing the shirt, mental health awareness. Again, we just came off of Mental Health Awareness Month. We are in July 4th, freedom. You know, we talked about that. Our first responders out there, our veterans out there, they don't feel free to speak up, to speak out. That there's still something, whether it's within them or maybe their command, that is keeping them from doing that. What would be the greatest gift, of advice to them from you?
Well, can I say something real quick about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's go back to the little acting thing. I don't know if y'all remember this. I did a thing called I Can, I Will, I Must. It's just a little short film we just wanted to do. And that was one of the hardest roles I think I've ever done, because I got a part of a story that I used where I dressed up in a military uniform of a captain that had dealt with his demons, thought it was his fault that his men died. When anyways, he was about to had it up to his head. And let me tell you, that was not easy to do. Even if it was acting, people around me, I didn't like that feeling. He chambered a gun, I chambered it, and just about to pull the trigger. This time it was a dog, but it was a cat that saved his life. And he took the round out, and it's still at his at his dresser today as a remembrance how far he went. But if that cat wouldn't have made that sound, he wouldn't be with us. That sound is what we need to find for everybody.
Yes.
And it's out. Whether
Exactly.
it's a smile, a call, a letter, email, text, and you know the person's dealing with it. If they're not acting the same way, and I mean if they're not, you can smile through sadness, or them demons, but you got to recognize it. It's out there. They're showing every day, and they get worse. And don't let it go that far. We got to stop this stigma. We have to stop it. It's not 22 anymore, folks. It's probably in the 50s a day. And because we're just now I'm talking about the military too, but and I call it the first responders 24/7ers for a reason. They deal with something every single day of every minute of something going on, and it's usually not good. Hopefully they'll save a life more than they will see a life taken. Now, military, we may not see that as much in the combat because you may get to be pulled off and deal with it, blah, blah. But they're not. They're going straight back out there and doing it again and again. How they do it, and then they're done. They retire or they quit or whatever, move on, and guess what they're stuck with?
Yeah,
all those bad memories, not the good, because they try to go, what? We need to bring them good memories back. Hey, man, you saved a lot more than you saw die. There's people that are living today because of you. They have to know that. And that's the same thing about the soldiers and Army and Mill. They did a mission. Some guys died, but they saved countless others. And you have to find the good more than the bad.
That is amazing. You're absolutely right, and they have to be reminded of that, folks. We have had Jeff's. I guess it's, what do you call it on Facebook? @sign. I don't know. If you want to connect with Jeff on Facebook, it's @Jeffery Gray. That's the best way.
And you'll see me with there's a 9,000. That's why I went to Jeffery ERY because that is my real name. But there's too many of Jeffery or Jeff's Grays. God forbid there's too many. But it's me because of what is on there. If they were looking
on the flag.
Yeah.
With the flag. Absolutely. So thank you so much,
Jeff,
Jeff, for being on with us tonight to enlighten everybody about the hashtag Walk the Bridge and what you're doing every single day. Folks, reach out to Jeff. He is here.
And I'm here to listen too. So if you got
ready to listen. And we can't thank you enough for coming on. Thank you, Jeff. We'll be in touch.
Thank you all for having me.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah, he is a true advocate. He's a true friend. He's a true patriot, and he's as real as it gets. And I'm trying. Excuse me. I think that's my first sneeze ever.
Oh, I got hit with the spray.
Edit it out. We are live, but
my screen.
we're going into our fall season. We wish we could bring some weather with us right now. But, if you need to get connected with some help for yourself or a family member, visit badgeofhonor.org, scroll down to partners resources. Don't be a stranger. We've got a contact section on our page. Reach out there as well, and we'll get in touch. Reach out to Jeffery Gray on Facebook. And I think it's Jeffery. Gray, the color Gray on Facebook. Sorry about that. And come out and walk, because you got to get out of your head. And those endorphins from walking, hey, it's not us saying it. It's science, real science. So check everything out on our website. Upcoming, we have got in September, we've got a lot of events. One with the City of Rowlett Fire Department and Police Department. We've got another one with our partners of Heroes on the Water and the Equine Therapy Program at Our Watch. We've got another one in the works for October, in addition to our 8-hour workshops at Garland PD, which will be going up on the website soon. Just click that events tab. It'll take you to a calendar where you can see everything. To all of our first responders out there, we are praying for you every single day. Get connected with us, our listeners. And we have people, no matter where you're watching the show every single week. Thank you. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep getting the word out. There are a lot of practitioners on there, especially through LinkedIn, that watch. Don't be a stranger there either. Go back, see the replay, check out the comments, see who's there. You never know, right? It's all about making the connections. But we thank you for that. We are praying for every single first responder, Tennessee and now North Carolina. Special thoughts and prayers up for them this evening. And to all of our veterans, thank you so much for fighting the good fight that allows us to do a show like this, speak our minds every week. And, you know, for all of our active duty personnel that spread out across the world, there are things going on. People don't seem to understand, but we have troops on the ground across the world. So we are safe here at home. So thank you so much for what you do. John, take us home.
Listen, you've said it all, but if you want the hashtag Walk the Bridge movement, if you want to be a part of it here in Texas, the third Sunday of every month in Rockwall or in Fort Worth, go to walkthebridge.org and you can find out the locations. If you're in the UK, go to the Walk the Bridge UK Facebook page, and you'll see some of the places over there as well. You do not have to be part of a group or society or an organization to begin this. You can do one-offs. You can do them every month, whatever you'd like. This is just about your own mental health. This is about sharing with others on how you progress and how you heal. So anybody can be part of Walk the Bridge. And if you do, share it on our Facebook. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear how it helped you, because that gives us the fuel to keep moving forward. Until next week, thanks, Sam. Peace.
See you next week, everybody. Good night.
A Badge of Honor podcast is produced for the OBBM Network podcast and protected under copyright law. For content permissions, please submit your request to abadgeofhonor.com on the content page. For OBBM Network programming information, please call 214-714-0495 today.